Hello, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time I'm taking a look at my Transformers Generations Kingdom collection. Now, before I actually bring up the figures, I'd like to mention that yes, I will show some of the re-release figures. I will also show the Netflix stuff. I will not show the Selects figures, even though so far there's pretty much only one that's actually mainly released. But other than that, these are going to be the core class figures, Deluxes, Voyagers, Leaders, and some of the Netflix stuff from Wave 3, because that seems to tie in with the Kingdom lineup. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. With the line heavily influencing Beast Wars, I figured might as well start with someone that came from Beast Wars. So I got Rat Trap, and he's pretty cool. Very awesome little guy. I think he's one of the first ones that I've opened. We also have Optimus Prime. This is just a G1 version of the little guy. And we also have Vertebrake. Now, I haven't found Starscream. I did find Megatron, but I passed up on him for the current moment just because I'm looking at something else. But I do definitely want to get that guy as well. Before we move on to the mainline Deluxes, I want to bring up the Netflix Deluxes. So the first thing we've got is the Sparkless Drone, or Bot, or whatever his name is. This is a deluxe Barricade rework, and it's definitely Barricade with the two guns on the top and the sirens. Although maybe it's not necessarily Barricade, it is pretty much using the same pattern. And we also have, he just fell over and pretty much slammed into Rat Trap and Optimus Prime. We also have the Decius army drone, because apparently you have to say it at a very specific way. And pretty much this is an Ironhide repaint. Unfortunately, I don't have the Sparkless Seeker, and that is the main one that I'm looking out for. My Walmart has been terrible. In fact, when I found these, this was the only time I actually found any Netflix stuff, and they haven't restocked since. So yeah, definitely need that Sparkless Seeker. Continuing on with the Deluxes, I'm going to show off the re-releases. So eventually I think we're going to get a Wheeljack, so I think I'm just going to throw them in. Otherwise there's no real point. And we also have, for the re-releases in RC, I don't really like this mold. I don't know why they decided to re-release it. It's not really a good mold to begin with. Anyways, for the actual mainline new stuff, we have Cheetor, which is pretty cool. Could use a little more coloring. Yeah, the darker blue looks nice, and he definitely needs the gold, but I wanted the mass release toy anyways. I figured the baby blue kind of works with the yellow a little bit more. I did see the Netflix one in person, and I don't know, it just doesn't really do it for me. We also have the Kingdom Black Arachnia. This was actually my first Kingdom toy, and I have no regrets about that because she is really cool. And I always wanted a proper Kingdom or Generations Black Arachnia, so that's very nice. Anyways, moving right along, we also have Warpath. Now, I absolutely love Warpath. He's one of my favorite characters, so to have a Generations figure that definitely looks like his G1 self really intrigued me, so I had no problems picking that up. The next one we have is Paleotrex. I almost forgot his name, but yes, it's Paleotrex. I believe it's Paleotrex. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I have the package right above me. Yep, it's Paleotrex. And yeah, he's the bone fossilizer type characters, and these are pretty nice actually. I just got him just to check it out, and I really like the gimmick, so much so that I got the follow-up wave character. This is Ractonite. I always seem to forget their names, but yeah, he or she or whatever you want to call him is pretty cool. I do like the idea, the design of it. Not as much as Paleotrex, but I still like it. Moving right along, we also have Kingdom Huffer. I've always wanted a Generations version of Huffer, and the War for Cybertron line was perfect for it because I love the gimmick of all the portholes, and I think they do really nice with the alt mode and the robot mode design. It's not a perfect transformation. I feel like the head needed to do something in order to get the cab to sit right, but mine seems to be okay. Not as bad as what some people have it. And then last but not least, for the deluxe class figures, we also have Air Razor, which really surprised me. I'm actually really impressed by this toy. There was a rumor that said that Air Razor was actually going to be the worst figure in Kingdom that they saw so far. Not so much that they actually held, but from what they saw. And even she didn't look that bad. I gotta say, I don't really know what they were talking about because this is actually a really good figure. It's actually one of my favorites. Alright, making room for the Voyager class figures, I have 4 figures to show off. The first thing we have is Optimus Primal. Now, actually, before I talk about that, there's also a rumored listing that we're going to get a repack of the Starscream from Earthrise. I do have that figure. I didn't bring it out because I just wasn't sure about it. But anyways, we do have Optimus Primal right here, and I am so impressed by this guy. He's just an ape that transforms into something that looks like Optimus Prime, but I don't mind that. The next figure that we have seems to be in the wrong crowd, but I don't necessarily mind because he's still a good figure. This is the Kingdom Cyclonus, and oh my god, he is so good. I don't like how tight the knees are, but besides that, oh my god, I am so in love with this thing. I love the jet mode, I love how clean it is. It is just a really good toy. The next thing we have is the Kingdom Inferno, and yes, it's not the Ant version of Inferno. That would have been better suited for the Kingdom line, but I don't mind this version. I mean, we knew we were going to get a version of Inferno since the Grapple toy, so I don't necessarily mind that. And probably my favorite Kingdom figure in general is Dinobot. I mean, yes, the dinosaur mode is not the best, but the robot mode definitely makes up for it. And he just looks fantastic, and he's one of my favorite characters in Beast Wars. I really appreciate this guy, so I really like him. And last but not least is the Leader Class toys. The first thing we've got to talk about is the Optimus Prime repack. And this is the proper Kingdom version. It came in the Kingdom packaging. But yeah, it's basically just the same Optimus Prime that we've seen in Earthrise. So there's not really much to talk about. Comes with the trailer and everything. But I definitely wanted this version of Optimus Prime. I could never find the original Earthrise one. So I'm glad that it came back in Kingdom. And finally, for this collection update, this one is incredible. Again, Dinobot is my favorite, but I think this is a second favorite, despite some of the flaws. Oh, Megatron. Oh, I love how he feels. He feels mighty and big and strong, and oh, he looks so good with Dinobot. I mean, look at this comparison. Oh, I love that. So yeah. That's Megatron. And that is my entire Kingdom collection thus far. Again, they're releasing more. I'm going to be pre-ordering some, so there's definitely more to look out for. But this is the current collection. Again, I really need to find that Sparkless Seeker. I do want the Megatron and the Starscream. I just haven't been able to find the Starscream, and like I said earlier, I found the Megatron. It's just a bad timing. And I do kind of want that Ultra Magnus just so that I can complete the mainline Leader Class figures. I also need the Galvatron that follows up with it. But for right now, this is what I've got. So with that out of the way, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I will see you guys next time.